more so another, more so than other, and I want to have more of a, I do like to have more of a um opening monologue and more of a talk to start the stream, just because it is, someone, it is part of who I am, and part of what I do enjoy life is, just life itself and the rhythm of life, the philosophy of life, and how um, things work and stuff like that. And I'm a firm believer that the soul, we have souls, and the soul controls the body. It's not the other way around. It's not the body doesn't control the soul. The soul um, controls the body. Um, and I think this is your vessel, your physical form of who you are. Me, wake up, Justin. Justin, I'm not. This is just a character. You know what I mean? This isn't like who you really are or who I really am. It's a character. Justin, wake up, Justin. A character. You know. But it's knowing that and not getting lost in it and not having fear of it or not worrying it, because you gotta realize this machine that we're operating out of, this vessel, my vessel of Justin, you know, it's 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 a very powerful machine, I want to say. No, it is a very powerful machine because it can literally form and shape reality around you. It's just, I think we've forgotten how powerful this machine is, the human body, how powerful it actually is, and what it can actually do, and how it is actually used to transform, your reality, and how you can, um, create basically anything you want within reality, because it's not even real in the first place. None of this is real. It's your life and how you live, whatever, is all based was all based upon your choices and how you see things and how you look at things. And then, like, if you're looking for a certain thing, you're always going to find a certain thing. If you're looking for separation in the world, or if you're looking for a certain thing in the world, if you think hate and separation and segregation and all these things are real, whatever, well, then you instantly look for those things within the system, and then you find those things, and it stands out more to you, and so it's more prevalent. So over time, it's it's like you're picking a scab, and every time you pick the scab, it scabs over, but it's more uh, a scab on your ego of who you think you are, but you're really not that person or that thing. Um, like I said, I think the soul controls the body, but the body also shapes the soul, because this is the machine you're using to form all of that with what you see in front of you. It's just we kind of forgot how to operate the machine, because we don't live in that world anymore. We live in this reality, and we kind of lost how to live outside reality and more into the metaphysical and the spiritual side of life and reality, because that's what we really are at the end of the day. We were spiritual beings in a metaphysical world, but we're having reality experience, I guess you would say, in a way. But the machine is very powerful, and both need both to operate, and they both transform each other, and both mold each other, and both shape each other. Um, and really, like the machine you have, this machine you have of the body, of the human body, the machine I have of Justin, um, you know, you should just let go of control. And I think a lot of people have trouble letting go, and then letting God be in control and going with the flow of that, because consciousness, your vessel, whatever, is having things run through it all the time and stuff like that. But it's letting go, and trusting that God is in control, and going with that flow, and choosing that way of living more and more, to be entrusting. to the point where it's like a natural flow. You're not really thinking about it. It's like breathing. It's like drinking water. It just naturally happens. Um, letting go and trusting in God, and then using your body as a vessel to shape reality with which is around you. Um, like I said, like reality versus spiritual. Like yes, you have a physical heart in your body that pumps blood and all those things, but you also have like a metaphysical heart with like is like how good of a person you are and all those things like that. Are you a good-hearted person? Are you a mean-spirited person? All those things. It's like yes, you have a brain that runs your memory and stuff like that, but like you can also use your brain for like visual thinking and other stuff too. So we're living, different. We're living in different, you know, and well, we're living in two worlds at the same time. But we're a soul. We're the soul having an experience. Um, it's not, and uh, it's about knowing that and not being fearful of that, and and realize that like you shape your reality. It's you. You shape it. You know, like me doing streaming every day and every night and coming on stream will eventually is going to lead to something because eventually I'll get more used to it. I'll get more comfortable. I'll find my groove. I'll find things, and it's like all of a sudden it becomes like becomes your reality. First you need a dream or a vision of what it is or what you want to do or what it is you want, right? And then you need to figure a way, how to get it, and then you need to put a plan to action and things like that, and you have to like physically, mentally, and energetically like mold the reality you want and how you want to see it and how you want to form it because like I said, the machinery the machinery is is here. It's the vessel. It's your body. That's the machinery. It's just complicated. A very complicated machine. And like I said, I think we physically know how to run ourselves. We know we need water. We know we need protein. We know we need all these things. We know we need, whatever. We know we need a diet. You need to fast. You need to watch your alcohol consumption, your drug intake, whatever it is. You need to watch all those things, moderate your eating, not eat fast food, not to try to eat processed food, not to eat frozen food, all those things. Like we know how to take care of our bodies. But I think what's forgotten about is like the whole spiritual, like psychology, emotional programming side of how our we work, not in the physical, but in the metaphysical. I think how that operates and how that runs and how that works as humans is is it's not lost. I want to say it's lost because it's not lost. It's there. It's just very hard to digest and to understand because it's the human psyche and like how humans like mentally do things, whatever. It's pretty complicated stuff. How like people's egos are made and like why people act a certain way or why people do things a certain way, whatever. Like someone might do something because when they were 6 years old, their parents told them otherwise or something like that. You never know. So it's like, you know, you gotta find your center, basically. And you gotta operate with your center and realize, like I said, this realm, this reality, this world we live in is a positive place. It really is. It's a positive place because positive always beats bad. Otherwise, if this wasn't a positive realm, and if good didn't win over bad, right? And if bad always won over good and it was a negative realm, this place would be a lot worse. It'd be a lot worse off than it is now. That's how you should know this place is a positive realm, and a majority of the people, that are living on this earth are, majority are good, decent people. They really don't want to harm anyone. They really don't mean any harm, whatever. They just want to go about their day, watch their shows, live their life, hang out with their family, and do their thing. Like most people just want something very simple. They don't want anything too complicated, too crazy. They're happy with what they have, and their little slice of heaven is their slice of heaven. It's our little slice of heaven. People are happy with that, and that's fine. Because its experience is meant for everyone. It's meant for everyone. It's meant to hold. I feel like this reality, this plane we live in, is also meant to hold multiple versions of itself within itself without anyone knowing really what's going on. Because like I said, you shape and you form your reality, whatever. But I also feel like too, like everyone is capable of doing that, but also living in like a different like realm. But they're also like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. That's like, it's strange, but I do believe that's true too. Um, so like I said, man, I wish people would just get out there more, start living life, and start doing things, and just being people again, and not being so afraid, I guess, of just like being yourself and realizing like part of being human, in the human experience, is failure, is learning from your failures, moving forward and growing from them. That is part of the human experience. So you need, that's I wouldn't say if you fail whatever, I wouldn't like be like down on yourself about it. So that's just me though. That's how I see things about life. It's like just relax, have some fun with it, man. Like it's the more you interact with it and the more you have fun with it, the better your experience is gonna be, you know? Because like if I came on here and I was a Debbie Downer and I was sad and I was like, "Woe is me, my life sucks," blah blah, and everything like that. Guess what? If someone comes to the channel, they're not gonna watch it because who wants to watch someone complain about their life? No one. You know what I mean? Like people have their own like this channel is meant to this channel is meant to inform, to help others. Hopefully, what I say sticks and gives someone some help or some advice or whatever it may be. 'Cause I definitely lived enough and seen enough and done enough in this life to know, you know, and it's true. And I'm not afraid to admit that or say that. Real deal, dude. Real deal. I've been it. I lived it. I've seen it. I've done it. In the flesh and the blood. Haven't skipped a beat. Haven't skipped the line one bit. Trust, I've been through it. Been there, done that. You can do anything you want. I always tell everyone, you can be anything you want. You can literally do anything you want in this life, but it's not going to be easy. I think people misunderstand that a lot too. Like, yeah, you can do anything and be anything, but it's not going to be easy. But it's not going to be easy. Because it's not meant to be easy. Otherwise, it's a test on how bad do you really want it. How bad do you really want something? Are you willing to go? the extra mile for it. Because whatever you want to be, whatever it is you want to be a NASCAR driver, you want to be a rapper, you want to be whatever, there's someone else, there's someone else out there trying to do the same thing you're trying to do. So, and they're doing it, uh, more, they're doing it more, I don't know, it's just, but hopefully, it's almost like you really can't think of much, like, of the future. I don't know. It's weird. If you could understand how to like fully operate this machine, your body and how everything works and stuff like that, you could do some crazy stuff. If you knew how to fully operate the machinery. You could do some wild things about it. But I feel like it's a lost art, and most people just don't know how to do it anymore. So, Alan Watts is pretty good. Alan Watts explains a lot. He does a good job explaining it. More so than anyone I know. He does do a good job explaining it, like the human psyche and how ego and all those things come together and stuff like that. So, but we're about to get on to the word of the night